Hi, good evening. My name is Miss Faulkner, and welcome to Humble Christian School. I am one of the kindergarten teachers here, and I am so excited for this year to have each and every one of you here and your children. We're going to go over a couple of things that we need to go over quickly, and I'm not going to keep you long. Class begins at 7:55 in the morning, and we will be counted tardy if we're not in the classroom. These are the times that we come in the classroom, but the first week of school, I'm going to allow the parents to be with their children, take their pictures, be with them, because honestly, I don't have a problem with the children. It's the parents. So bring your Kleenex. I'm excited, and they're going to be excited. We do not wait for our children in the hallways or outside the classroom with your child. Please drop them off in the cafeteria after the first week. Not the first week. We're going to allow you to come down to class and bring them and drop them off. Look at the classroom if some of you didn't get a chance to see the video or meet with me that open house night. If your student's tardy or absent, you need to send a note to me, the teacher, and you must sign in the front office. Dismissal will be completely at 3:15, but give us a chance because the first 2 weeks are very confusing, especially all the name tags are in the cars, and we have to see what car goes with what child, and of course the siblings are paired together. So it is a little hard, but to be patient with us. It's going to be a long line. We are pretty much having the children's names in the front of your car. Don't put them on the side of your window because they will slide down. Put them in the front, anchor them in the front or up on your mirror, your rearview mirror. It works the best. And we can see the child coming, and they have callers, and we have walkie-talkies. And we appreciate the patience, so please, please bear with us. And in your welcome folder, I usually will have a welcome folder. In your welcome folder will be your child's name, and if you have a sibling, it'll be on there also because they're going to put them all together or whatever family's riding with every family, that family, excuse me. All items on your children's things must be labeled. Our supplies, our backpacks, our rest mats, our uniforms, our spare clothes, our coats, our jackets, our lunchbox, etc. Please label them clearly with your child's name on them in permanent ink. Parents, please don't bring blankets. Don't bring sheets and king-size comforters because they don't fit in my closet for one thing. We just need a regular blanket like you did when they were babies to cover them because the air conditioner does get a little cold, and then during the winter, the heat, but they sleep on the floor. So, and they're not allowed pillows. They're not allowed anything, stuffed animals. For one thing, we don't have the room. Now, we'll have times when we will have show and tell, and if they do have a stuffed animal, they're welcome to lay down with it. But if they abuse the privilege, then it's taken away and put it in their backpack. All items must be labeled. Please label even their clothes. In their backpacks, you will find a Ziploc bag. Please make sure their change of clothes will be in there because they do have accidents. Hopefully, they're over the stages, but a lot of times when we have like different menu items like spaghetti or sauce, or they spill it on their chapel shirts, and you happen to go like maybe you're going to dinner after you pick them up late, or you're going shopping, you don't want to take, and I will change them immediately. Because for one thing, they don't want to stay in a stain or fruit juice punch that's stained all over their clothes, or maybe it's wet and it gets uncomfortable, it'll chap their legs. So, and it doesn't have to be a uniform because it gets expensive. It can be regular clothes, but again, make sure you check every season that changes because from the shorts from the summer in the August and October, then the winter sets in. We need winter clothes, so we're going to need pants and socks, underwear, and regular change because sometimes it does get on their socks and sometimes they do have accidents. So please allow that for different. Check their items, check a date, on the seasons that change for summer, the spring, the winter, and make sure that you have it labeled on their Ziploc bag. Their backpacks must be big enough to fit their binders in. Their binders go home every day. They won't start going home until the week after, just like everything else. Because we have to get attached. We have to get used to our rules. We have to get used to our schedules. So their binders will not go home. But every day you have to look in their binder. You have to sign it. You have to see what's going on. Behavior charts. We'll get into that in a minute. Lunchtime is at 10:30 in the morning. I know. It's more brunch than it is lunch, but we are the first lunch. And so there will be a school lunch card, and Miss Carolyn will be in charge of that. And you can add on money to your lunch card, and it will, as soon as it starts depleting, she will send you an email, and she will let you know that you need to add. And you can't really charge on it after a couple of days. Your child will have to eat like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich unless they're allergic to peanut butter because we do have allergies. So please look at the menus in the school newsletter. The Cougar Corner is on RenWeb. We do not send it home anymore, so it's not on paper. It's on RenWeb. So please make sure you look on RenWeb and look at the Cougar's Corner. It will have the menu from Monday through Friday on there, and they do change. Pizza Day is every Friday. So that's the only thing that I know that doesn't change. Please, when you send their lunch with them, make sure their lunch kits are labeled. Make sure they cannot have sodas, no Cokes, no sodas. Don't send frozen food or uncooked items. No, not because we can't do it, because of the time factor. We only have 30 minutes for lunch, and by the time they get in line, open up, and we warm up certain things, like you can send hot dogs and chicken nuggets. We will warm them up. That's not a problem. But frozen foods like ramen and stuff like that takes a while for the noodles to cook. So we don't have time to wait, and then by the time it cools down, it's time for us to go. So it's a time factor. It's not that we don't want to do it. We love your children to have a hot lunch when it's cold, and believe me, send it in a thermos. It pretty much keeps itself hot because we're, like I said, we go to lunch at 10:30, so pretty much it'll stay. When you're sending cash, please, please, please put it in a Ziploc bag, an envelope labeled with your child's name and the money's intended for its use. I have a lot of kids. We have Blue Jean Friday, which is a fundraiser. When it is, you can wear blue jeans on that Friday. They have to send in $1. But I have children that will come and drop money on my desk. No, that's not their part of their morning duties because then I don't know who it belongs to, and they look at them and I ask them, whose dollar is this? That's for that issue. I'd rather have the child's name or know it. And an easier thing to that we found out last year with the PTF is that you can pay for the whole year, and then it's marked off on my chart, so then we don't have to worry about it. So that's also a good thing to look into for your child for Blue Jean Friday. Please inform me of any kind of special issues regarding your child's eating habits, allergies, which I know it'll be on their files and their medical files, and I do keep that and I do look at it. Recess follows lunch and then rest time. We have nap time. Each child must have his or her own mat labeled. The mats have to be labeled in permanent ink. You must send a small individual blanket like I stated before. And please, no pillows or stuffed animals are not allowed. Rest time will be a time for children to quietly sleep on their mats. I'm not asking them to close their eyes. I'm asking them to rest. I know that I have parents that will address an issue with me about, well, my child never sleeps. Well, that's fine. By the time we get to nap time, believe me, a lot of them do. When they stay quiet enough, they do fall asleep. Chapel is on Wednesdays. They must wear their chapel uniforms all day. That means you need to check your child for their ties, their belts, their white chapel shirts, or their blue chapel shirts, except for picture day. We do have white chapel shirts. And also check on RenWeb because it has the uniforms and the supply list. Obedience chart. I have an obedience chart that comes with obedience. They have consequences. OB indicates no problems or behavior. The first offense is warning. That's yellow. Yellow is warning. It's a warning sign. It means to slow down, listen to God. Red is a very serious offense. I will address the issue. I will call your parents. I will have a conference with you personally. Personally, I like emailing, but I like communication a lot better because I'd rather talk to the parents if the child is either lacking in a certain subject or failing a certain subject that we need to get them to where they need to be for the next level. Red is an offense, and I don't mean red where the child looked at the other child. I'm talking about they're biting, they're hitting, they're screaming, they're using words that are not appropriate. Yellow, I'm not worried too much. You will see, and I will write what the offense was that day. And I have told them to be obedient in too many ways or had to address it, and it just continued with the behavior. I will also let you know on the yellow, on the behavior chart. So that's why it's important to look at your binder and sign it every single day. I will take care of the small things. It's not timeout is at recess a couple of times, and I will talk. We will pray about the situation, and then we will start over because God's grace, His mercies are new every day. And I tell my children that we have to work together. Please reinforce everything I do with you at home. It's all about building to get to the next level, not only for academic but for spiritual. We work as a unity in this class, and I like to work together with the parents, with the students to work as one mind and one accord. Daily homework. You will not have homework the first week of school. Beginning the second week, we'll have practice on their name and letter. Also about holding their pencils correctly. Like I said before, it's so vital, it's so important that you reinforce everything I do here from the very first week of school. If they're in a schedule at home, oh, great. I prefer them in a schedule. They need their rest. They grow while they rest. And they're ready for the next morning because it is awfully early and they're getting used to the time change and coming back from summer. We all are. The daily binders, like I said before, we need to read them and sign them daily. Please do that because there's important papers, there's important information that's in there every single day. We have something going on, especially the first 4 weeks of school. We have homecoming coming on. We come in PTF. We have room mothers that are trying to get in situations where they need to be stayed in each and every room. Birthdays. When we will celebrate birthdays at lunchtime only, we cannot have homemade treats because of allergy issues. So please, everything that needs to be, if you're going to bring it, needs to be store-bought and prepackaged. No cakes because we don't have time to cut the cake. Well, cupcakes or cookies, we will celebrate them together as their birthdays, and they celebrate all day. Room moms are very vital part of our classroom. You need to let me know if you're interested in this position. I need the help so that we can get all the information to the next parents. They will have emails that they will remind you of. I'm looking forward to a great year with your child, and I know what God has for us, and I know what God can do with us. On their academics is another thing. This is things your child will learn in kindergarten and their character training. Character training is one of the most supreme goals of a Christian education. Make your goal to train your child at home along with me to do these things. You need to teach them with me to respect authority, to pay attention, to obey willingly, to apply themselves to task on hand, to learn rules and apply them, to do their best always. I always encourage my children to do their best. I will not allow negativity between the parents or between the students. Every word should need to be an encouraging word, whether they're not behaving or not. We still need to get them to a level where Christ loved us right where we're at. Learn to work hard. I always tell them, do your best and work hard. Develop habits on orderliness, carefulness, obedience, honest, cooperation, perseverance. Self-control is a big issue. Attentiveness, firmness, confidence, responsibility. I teach them to be responsible in this class. They come in and do their morning duties. They will come and hang up their backpacks, come over and get in line. Let me check their binders because I check them every morning for money that needs to be sent in on their lunch card, anything that needs to be addressed, and then they come and they get themselves busy, and then we continue our schedule. Bible time is the time of learning multiple New and Old Testament stories. We do doctrine drills, memory verses, and songs. Memory verses are going to go home in their binder from the first semester, from the first 9 weeks on, until Christmas. They will memorize a Bible verse, and they will be tested on it on Fridays. Fridays is our test day for memory verses. It's awesome. They love it. They get a sticker. They get it to put on an incentive chart on the front of my desk. Plus, we also explain what it is for a Bible verse. Learning one and memorizing and knowing what it means and applying it to your life is two different things. So the children love that. They love the vowels. They love their Bible memory verses, and they love the stories and the parables, and we act them out also on Fridays. We get to act out our Bible verses, and they love it, especially the paralyzed man where his friends took him to the house to see Jesus. We put the smallest child on a blanket, and we carry him with 5 friends, and they love it because they're visual at this age. They get to interact because it is a curriculum. It's very structured, but it's prominent. It works. It's profound, and they learn while they have fun with it. So it's awesome in every which way. Phonics is another thing. They learn to use phonics. As soon as the short sounds of the vowels and the sounds of only 3 consonants are introduced, then we continue with learning the rest of our consonants. First, we learn our vowels, then our consonants. Then we blend it. A blend is a consonant and a vowel coming together to make a sound. So first we do a sound before we start on our 1 vowel rules. This is a constant repetition so that they can also memorize but recognize. And then they start writing it. So it's also cursive writing. That comes next. When we learn our cursive, we're going to learn practice on our names first. And the next week, not the first week, but the second week, we'll go home and we'll learn how to cursive writing. But it begins with their names. A lot of them are already writing their names. Hopefully they've been practicing because a lot of them, we have to teach them how to write turn your paper, hold them a certain way, because I have left-handers and I have right-handers. Numbers. I love numbers and I love math because gives a chance for a student not only to memorize but to have fun. We have a lot of games we play with math and a lot of manipulatives because they are visual, they're hands-on, and so am I. I'm a very visual kindergarten teacher. I'm very animated. I love it. But anyway, I'm just looking forward to doing this. And, it's recognizing counting from 1 to 100 and also knowing 1 to 100. A lot of my parents will come in and say, well, Miss Faulkner, my children know how to memorize. They can count from 1 to 100. Yes, ma'am. But can they recognize from 1 to 100? Can they write on the formative on the paper from 1 to 100? Can they do before and after numbers? Can they count by 2s, by 5s, by 10s? It's a whole total thing, but it's a learning, and it comes in increments at a time because we have to remember they're only 5. And their learning and their attention span is not very short. But it comes after 5 months, 6 months. You're going to see your fruits. So if you work with me and reinforce everything with me, you're going to see the fruits in January and February. It's awesome, especially when we come into reading circles. I'm the one that gets more excited than the kids, but I love it. Skills development is an activity in language enrichment. We're going to learn to do perceptive skills, motor coordination, listening, and thinking skills. Thinking skills are awesome. It's a lot of comprehension after we read stories. I ask them questions, and that's what you should be doing anyway at home also when you're reading with them. Ask them what the story was about. Ask them what the story intended. What was it? What could they apply that to their lives? Look for blends. Look for vowels. Look for sounds. That's what I always tell my children. During activity time, they enjoy music and art. They will have art once a week. They will have music twice a week. They have PE once a week. And they have Spanish once a week. Yes, Spanish. Yes, Miss Faulkner speaks in Spanish. Buenos dias. And I always practice it here with them. So they're excited about that too, learning Spanish. We learn about community helpers and introducing American history and geography in America, our great country, and a chance to meet living people in other countries and the children of the world. Our second semester, they enjoy learning about the world around them and God's world. During language enrichment, they hear about words and opposites and rhyming words, analogies, drama, and poetry. We love poetry. They do a lot of poetry. It gives them a chance to also get up again and be involved and do poetry with our movements and our memorization. They love it. And then we have telling time. Not only telling time on a clock, but an analog. Because a lot of times that we look at different times that parents have it at home or parents have it on their cell phones. But they love also to act out their poetry, and I love that, the time of language and developments. They love it. Homework. Okay. Homework is an assigned after Christmas. That's reading homework, not homework that we need for other subjects, but for reading. Reading doesn't start because we have to get them to a level from their vowels to their consonants to their blends, and then comes into special sounds. Then they'll have readers. They'll have marking their vowels, marking their special sounds, and circling 1 and 2 vowels. And all this will go home in your binder. It'll all go home in your information package, in your welcome package, everything you need. But if you need to really talk to me or set up a conference with me, I am willing to sit down and go over everything with you if you're not sure how to pronounce them. Because I know I have a lot of parents, a lot of parents that will say, Ms. Faulkner, I don't know how to say the blends, or I don't know how to say those special sounds. That's great. We also, Ms. Reynolds and I have come up with a video. She's come up with a video, and I love it because we will do a video also about special sounds and about blends, and then we can send that home, and then you can play it back every time and see how it goes or how it sounds, and then you can apply it with your child. Oh, you're right, it goes this way. Because long sounds and short sounds are totally different, and blends, and special sounds. So parents should indicate the child's reading log with the pages that were read. Please sign all that also. That'll go home after Christmas too on information that I will send home to you on different rules for the 1 and 2 vowel rules. It's important at the beginning to teach your children responsibility. Our responsibility at the beginning of the year is going to be our hamster. Yes, I love animals. We are going to have a hamster in our class. I have one every year. It teaches them responsibility. Not only do they have fun with her or him, they get to take care of them. And guess what, parents? You get to take them home on Thanksgiving, Christmas, and any other holiday we have, a 4-day weekend. They love it. So please be prepared and have an open heart about this. It's not long, but it teaches them responsibility, and it teaches them to have fun with it, too. And please take care of it. But if you have a cat, it doesn't go home because the cat will get to it. But it's about teaching your children responsibility, respect, and most of all, about working as a unity in this classroom because we love one another. I love to see your children grow, not only in God and academically, but grow together as friendship in this classroom. And it just, my heart just warms every time at the end of the year when I look at graduation and look at them and see how much they've came and how much they've gone and grown from August to May. And we also have a program, it's a mentor program with the seniors. It's called an adoption program. The seniors will adopt kindergartners, and they celebrate their birthdays and Christmas with them. But they also, during the year, come and play with them at recess. They come and read stories to them. They come in the classroom and visit them. They get the biggest kick. We have seniors and kindergartners that are still pen pals when the seniors have left to college. Matter of fact, I went to a baby shower that I had for a senior. She graduated 6 years ago, and she's having a baby. Well, she's married, but she's having a baby now, her first child. And do you believe her kindergartner was at that baby shower? She is now in middle school. So it is awesome the relationship they build. Not only that, they set the example for these younger children in a godly way, in a godly manner. And we need that, parents. We need it, especially in the world today, all the hurt and we respect our authority, and that's what I teach my children. So I'm looking forward to teaching your children. I'm looking forward to a great year. I'm excited this year. We're going to do lots of wonderful things, but most of all, we're going to give God the glory. And I love you, and take care.